everyone. Welcome to another episode of CRE Power Hour, our live podcast. Our hosts are myself, Lisa Marie Wand, and the one, the only, the amazing Stephanie Gillison. And
that's why I like you doing the intro. You make me sound better.
I make you sound better. Aw, that's sweet. CRE Power Hour is a show about everything commercial real estate and business brokering. Stephanie and I have been hosting the show for about 2.5 years. We have amazing guests. We're here to share success stories and strategies and powerhouse moves and have some amazing guests. So join us every second and fourth Wednesday for CRE Power Hour at 2 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, I'm in Florida right now, so I'm confused. 2 p.m. Eastern and 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Today we have a guest that I have personally known since about 2005, actually, now that I think about it, Scott. And I met Scott because I was looking to expand my personal development. So I'm one of your few of your tens of thousands of clients that actually signed myself up to go to your training, because a lot of times people have a sponsor for your training, but I was searching online for leadership training, and I was really a sponge. I wanted to just absorb as much as I could. So I sent myself to Scott's training, which at the time was Empower You. And I came back and decided, you know what, I'm sharing this with all the key people in my organization. So Scott's here today. He's an expert in personal development from the inside out. And the name of his company now, if you want to find him online, is Way of Warrior. And I wanted to share, Stephanie and I wanted to have him on as a guest today because there's lots of different ways to become better at helping people buy and sell commercial real estate, buy and sell businesses. And one of those ways is to make yourself better internally so that your process and the way that you can be a trusted advisor to your clients, it comes out much better. You know, you're sparkly, you've got a good vibe. And that's why Scott's here today. So welcome. Welcome, Scott. Nice to have you.
Well, I'm so glad to be here, Lisa Marie. Yeah, 2005.
Yes.
I have been, a long time.
Yeah. And Scott works with smaller companies, but also larger companies. I remember when I was going through your programs and sending my key people from my real estate brokerage, that like the Nugget grocery store chain in California was a really big. So give us a little, we want to squeeze a lot of juice out of you today, Scott. So give us a quick, just how you got into this field, and then, tell us about how people can engage with your program and how it will help their business.
Well, I appreciate that, Lisa. And thank you so much, Lisa Marie. And thank you so much, Stephanie. I've been told many times I'm full of it. So if you squeeze me.
Me too, Scott.
Yeah, we're so similar. Yeah.
Maybe not orange juice.
Yeah, but again, I'm going to freestyle this. You know me, Lisa Marie. I freestyle. Yeah. I want to go by what you just.
A little hip hop rap.
Yeah, a little hip hop. Yeah. What you just said is so, I'm playing with a little bit. But, if I was at your house, Lisa Marie, and I spilled some Hawaiian punch on your beautiful tile floor, and I'm so sorry, Lisa Marie, I'm going to clean that up. So I go under your sink and I grab a brand new sponge and I wipe up that Hawaiian punch. When I squeeze that sponge, you're going to expect Hawaiian punch to come out of it because you got a clean floor. So it's no dirt, it's just Hawaiian punch. Same scenario if I in your house, and again, I'm at your beautiful house, and I knock over some brown soda, and I go, oh, Lisa Marie, I'm so sorry. I got brown soda all over your spotless tile floor. So I go grab a brand new sponge, I take it out of the wrapper, and I clean up my mess. And when I squeeze that sponge, Lisa Marie, you're going to expect brown soda to come out of it. And then I'm asking you, Lisa Marie, why would you expect brown soda to come out of it the second time when the first time you expected red Hawaiian punch? And you would say to me, well, Black, that's what you picked up in the sponge. And I always like to tell people in this story, we are the sponge. Every single human being out there is this sponge that as we go through life, things become part of our experience. The brain is a sensory-based organ. And so experience has 5 components. It's something we see, something we hear, something we feel through emotion, something we smell, something we taste. Yeah. And so when life squeezes us, a divorce, bad economy, a sickness. What comes out of us is what's in us. And that's why you see today so much bitterness and hurt and brokenness. It's because people are getting pressure applied, and through that pressure, what's in them comes out. And in the real world, it can be ugly, because here's the pattern, ladies: stuff, snap.
Stacking. It's
Stuff,
stacking of stuff.
Yeah.
Stacking of stuff.
And then good people can do bad things. And so what I've been doing for 32 years, I can't believe it, Lisa Marie, this is my 32nd year. I feel so old. And I look in the mirror, I don't feel that old, but I'm 60 years old. And for more than half of my life, I've been doing this training. And what I do is I create an environment where each individual can take a 100% honest look at themselves. And I put pressure on them, not because I didn't sleep last night, not because my wife doesn't love me, but because I want people to see, successful people, that when life puts pressure on you, what's coming out of you. And so as I apply this pressure in this environment, I hold up a mirror and I let people see that when a lot of pressure is applied, how do they show up? And then
well, you know what, Scott, when I would say, one of my favorite sayings is no pressure, no diamond. So,
Amen.
I went into your training the first time thinking I was, I got this. It's no problem. and then you have us stand up and do some things. And I was like, holy shit, I thought I knew myself. And what I know is what's in the sponge. Yeah. And what comes out of that sponge, at least my experience was all of the crap that I've been carrying around, or the idea that I had of myself as a professional owner of a large commercial real estate brokerage, that I had a great marriage, that I had all this. And we don't want to give away too many details, because really I hope that, a large percentage of people that are watching this today participate in Scott Black's training, because it changed my life. It changed the lives of people that are in my business, that I'm still talked to today about the impact that your program had. So without giving everything away, tell us, why would a commercial real estate broker or a business broker, real estate professional, why would they want to attend your training?
Well, because we're all in the people business. That's why. I mean, the people that are listening now that make their money from real estate, commercial, but really, is it really what you make your money from, or do you make it from people?
No, absolutely not.
You make it from people.
Getting to know and hearing people.
That's it. Bullseye. Because as a good salespeople, that you got to listen to buying signals. Yes. You got to listen, quit selling, and that client could be ready to buy. And if you stop selling, you're here and they're already ready to buy, but you're so busy selling that you can't hear them buy. Yeah.
I call it like flapping your gums, right? Because when I have agents or I'm mentoring or someone on my team, it's like the best tool we have is to listen for those cues. Because how many times, Steph, have you seen a agent or a broker talk themselves out of a...
Oh, 100%. I mean, look, I tell everyone that I mentor, I said, look, I'm not in the opinion giving business. You think that because you're there representing and you're going to earn a commission, that gives you permission to spew and spat every ignorant thing and every awesome thing that's going on in your head. No, you're there to keep your mouth shut, listen for the cues, and speak to the answer or the questions that they're asking you. And that is it, right?
Yes.
So that's what I think. And I've not been through Scott's training, but after our little preliminary and going through, I am coming to your training. So I will be looking that up.
I'm going to be your sponsor.
Yeah, there you go. But no, and I think, Scott, that's where a lot of people struggle in the sales industry, because I literally have said this more than I call myself a salesperson. I tell people I don't sell anything. I problem solve.
I like that.
And help get to that what the final goal is. I'm not a salesperson.
You're an assistant buyer. I love that concept. I'm going to assist you in buying. Now, if it's not right for you, then let's move on.
Yeah.
But my job is to fulfill or surpass your needs. And in order to do that, we got to get off ourselves. See, this is the problem. Going back to what I was saying, we're all in the people business. And if you're in the car business, you know cars. If you're in the computer business, you know computers. And so we need to know thyself. It was Aristotle that said an unexamined life is not worth living. And not that it matters, but I'm a man of God first and foremost. And it was Paul who said, examine yourself to see if you're still in the faith even. And yet most people are so wrapped up with everything out there that they don't spend a lot of time in here. And I'm 60 years old now. And I got to tell you, lady, something. At 58 years old, I became comfortable in my own skin. I actually like the company I keep in silence. Isn't that amazing?
It's God's. I think it's like the universe's like joke is that the more time you spend on the planet, if you have that opportunity, the better you get to know yourself and you could be more comfortable. So it's not like we have something to prove. Yep. It's like we're here to be of service to you. I call myself a trusted advisor. I don't call myself a commercial real estate broker or a business broker. I'm a trusted advisor. So I want to find out what your challenges are, what your pain points are, what your issues are, and let's come up with some possibilities of how we can solve those so you can move on to the next step in your life. So relating that to your way of warrior training, personal development training, what I see is that we can get out of our own way, out of our own bullshit, out of our own story.
Amen.
And really start focusing on being of service to others.
Yeah. See, you can't be in two different places at the same time. I can't be inside my own internal experience and out here with you. I've got to be out here. It cannot be day and night. You know, one thing, I study the brain. I'm a brain scientist. And one thing I learned about the brain is it cannot hold two polar opposite things in the same space. Yes. It cannot be day and night at the same time. You cannot be grateful and a victim at the same time. I can do them 2 minutes apart. I don't know about you guys, but I can do it about 2 minutes apart, but not at the same time. And you cannot be in here in your own map of reality and out there connecting with people at the same time. You've got to choose. But here's the problem. The two biggest issues with every single human being is the heart and the mind. And as a human behavioral specialist, I work on the heart and the mind. Because you even hear about in the political spectrum, you know, we're working on getting the hearts and minds of people. See, that's what you do as a salesperson. You got two portals of entry as an assistant buyer, as a whatever you want to call yourself. You can I forgot what I was saying now. But
you know what just from my years of meditation and personal development, traveling the world, working with lots of people like Stephanie has. The journey from the heart to the mind, it's a short distance, but it's the longest journey, right? Because the idea is to connect your heart and your mind so that when you're present and then you're passionate about what you're doing, we can be of the highest level of service to our current and potential clients and to everyone around us. You know, what do you think about that, Steph?
Yeah. Well, that actually sparked a thought because Scott, you know, the longer you're in an industry, the more people reach out and ask, you know, I wish you could just share with me where your success has come from, which in my mind, I mean, that's like, I can't even answer that question because 1, it's grit, 2, it's work ethic, but 3, what I can't teach to people is the way I communicate with people because I get exactly what you and Lisa Marie are saying, even though I haven't been through your training. I know your training is going to bring me even more value. But I think the truth behind that is in years, 26 years in the business, I have figured it out. I've evolved with it, but that's what I can't teach people to do. No matter how much I try, I cannot teach them that piece of the business. And that's the most important piece.
Well, you know why? See, this is where it goes back to, I teach people about how they work. There are 4 levels of learning. So the highest level of learning is something called unconscious competence, where you don't know what you know. It's called mastery. The beginning of learning is unconscious incompetence, where you don't know what you don't know. That's actually the beginning of learning. And so I teach people how they work. And we all process information either visually, auditorily, kinesthetically. And people use that language by how they stand, by how they gesture, by how you look at them. You can tell, is this person a visual processor? Is this person processing auditorily? Is this person processing kinesthetically? And
well, Scott, how do you think that Stephanie processes?
Well, she's very visual. You can already tell that. She's already very visual. You can see the way she is. You know how I'm moving around a lot. Very kinesthetic, very auditory. You're going to cut me off and all that. Notice how still she is. Look how everything matches so nice. Stephanie's beautiful. Every hair is in place. Her shirt's all nice.
Oh,
everything.
She's going to want to have you back as a guest again.
But she's very visual. You can see that very clearly.
Definitely.
Yeah, very visual. Now, she's probably got a lot of auditory in her as well. If I was to guess, probably one of her weaker points would be the kinesthetic side, which she'll have to work on developing. My weaker side was always the visual. I learn visually, but, you know, I'm not a visual guy. I buy and process by feeling and by hearing. And so I've had to work on the visual aspect of my development as well.
How about me? What do you think?
You're a lot more auditory, and you've got a lot of kinesthetic too. Now you have visual in you. All women have visual in them, especially professional women, because you know you got to look the part. You got to look good. Yeah, but I think you're a lot more auditory, Lisa Marie. A lot more auditory and a lot more kinesthetic. I think you're a lot more like me. You look way better than I do. Don't get me wrong on that. But you're more auditory, kinesthetic. You can talk well. I mean, you can talk circles probably around. You can keep talking. And you judge things on how they sense, how you feel about things. And again, that's just based on a little bit. You have a good gut instinct. Your gut instincts have done you well. And so you probably rely more so on your kinesthetic realm than you realize, because you're pretty sharp.
You're a smart cookie, Scott. So let's say Stephanie decides to go to your training, and when she comes back, I know she'll want to send some of her key people. It's probably her husband first, but
yeah,
tell our live viewers and the people that'll be watching this later, because it's on YouTube. It's available on YouTube and our website. It's posted on social sites. What can people expect to come out the other side from this training with? Not just a book that they can put on the shelf.
Yeah. No, you know me. Again, I reference the Bible just because I like to study things. There's Greek. There's one thing to know something, and there's another thing to know. There's two words, gnosis and epignosis. Gnosis is a surface knowledge. I kind of got an understanding of something. But epignosis is when you know. And so what I do is I create an environment where each individual can take a 100% honest look at themselves. And this level of honesty is in relation to how they can improve in every aspect of their life to become a better boss, a better coworker, a better team player, a better salesman, a better spouse, a better Muslim or Christian, whatever roles you play in life. And so I get you out of your head, because believe it or not, most people's head is hell. You know, two men sit behind bars. One sees mud, the other sees stars. Nobody responds to reality. Once you get this, ladies, everything changes. Now, I didn't say there is no reality. What I said is nobody responds to reality. What we respond to is our personal map of reality. See, So when you guys come to class, I bring pressure. Not to be mean, not because I didn't sleep at night, because I got 48 hours to change your life, and that's technically impossible. And I love the impossible.
You did help me pull my head out, and I'm not going to say where I pulled my head out from. But
your ass.
Ours.
I already knew that.
But you know what? You're a strong leader, Lisa Marie, and you need a strong leader to match that and to say, hey, I know where we're going. Stop it and get on board. And you know that look in the eyes. I say, if you don't like it, there's the door. Get out.
Yeah. And you know what, Steph, and everybody watching here. So let's say you have 50 people that show up for this training. I guarantee you there will be a handful of people within the first few hours that can't even hack it, and they leave.
Or want to leave. Yeah. I got people leave. I don't have as many leave as used to, because I've gotten a lot better, Lisa Marie. But it's intense. I'm not there to be your buddy. It's not a democracy. I don't care what you like. I'm not going to ask, so keep it to yourself. I'm going to provide a narrow path. You know, I create a narrow path, and in that narrow path, very few find it, very few are looking for it, and it's hard. But on the other side, it's delicious.
It's some tasty goodness. It's just so interesting that you have, executives or administrative people or salespeople come in to this particular experience, and that's what I'd call it.
Yeah.
And for those that know me, I've done so much personal development over the years. I've been in a leadership program with Tony Robbins for years, and this is different. Like you said, this isn't a stadium. You're in with a group of people, and
12 to 16.
Yeah, so it's intimate, and what I came out with is humility and understanding my power to grow my business. We grew our real estate brokerage about 250% in 4.5 years. And I would say, yeah, I would say that it's the grit and the things that Stephanie was talking about. However, going through your program, which was called Empower You at the time, now Way of Warrior, it really just helped me to see people not as clients, but to see people as other people that I can help. That's why my mantra, as Stephanie's heard me say this many times before, is that we rise by lifting others. And once you go through the intensity of 2.5 days or 48 hours with Scott and his team, it can really shift something. In fact, I think most people get shifted by that program, don't you?
Without doubt. Without doubt. If you don't mind me, I want to add something here, because let's be honest, we live in a world that's dividing us, how different we are. But can I suggest, this is where my science comes in, that we have 3 billion genetic pairs that make up all of our differences. And we are 99.9% identical. There are only 3 million pairs that are different. We all come from the same God goo. And I have you look, you go through this class with people who believe different, Muslims and Christians and black and white and yellow and brown. And in 2.5 days, these strangers fall in love with each other. We create a powerful team because I have them go 6 inches away. You remember this, Lisa Marie, looking in each other's soul. And I say, this is a living, breathing human being. This person has pain and desire. They want to love and be loved just like you do. And it's so emotional, so intense that we bond people together in 2.5 days and 48 hours. We could change this world. If I could get everybody in this class once a quarter, we change this world.
Yeah. In fact, I was just talking to last week, one of the attendees at your program. I think we went through together I don't want to call it a class. I want to call it an experience.
It is an experience.
A life-changing experience. And he became a client, and we just talked to each other the other day, and our basis of connection, it was going through your leadership program. So in the time we have left, would you share with us some success stories from some of the corporations that you've worked with? Because you have people that decide we're a chain of grocery stores, or we're this type of business. I mean, this isn't just for individuals or small companies. Talk about the corporate side of this and what impact, what impact you have.
Yeah, and let me, with a quick story, let me lead it with a quick story. George, and I love this story because stories tell such a big picture. George Bernard Shaw, most of you know who he was, famous writer. Near the end of his life, he was with a group of reporters. And one of the reporters asked him a simple question. He said, George, knowing what you know now, if you could live your life all over again and be anybody you wanted to be, a politician, a religious person, if you could be anybody you wanted to be and live all over again, knowing what you know now, who would you be? And he thought about it for a moment. He said, you know what? If I could live my life all over again, knowing what I know now, and I could be anybody I wanted to be, I would be the George Bernard Shaw that it could have been.
Yeah.
And that hit me so hard, because what he was talking about was living to his full potential, without the fear, without the doubt, without the limiting belief systems, without carrying our chains of pain from our past into other people's future. Every person out there is a living, breathing human being who has scars, has hurts and bruises and scars. And when they can take that and repurpose that pain, take their pain and use it for a different purpose, we turn hurts, bruises, and scars into heart, body, and soul. There's 2 places to leave your stuff in life, because we all got stuff. You can leave it on the table, or you can leave it on the field. And Lisa Marie, if you leave it on the table, that's a sales analogy. That means you didn't get as much as you could have got. But when you leave it on the field, you spend yourself in a worthy cause, and that worthy cause is your life. because I believe it's appointed for man to die one time and then comes the judgment. So live it well. But yeah, I work with corporations, Coca-Cola, Kraft, Nabisco. I've done a lot of work with the Army, a Michelin tire. One time, I can find the testimonial. They sent a group of people through my training together, 16 of them. And they sent me, and I can find the data for you. In 6 months, they had increased production by 60%, or I mean, they doubled some things. Here's the key. The greatest asset of any corporation, I'm talking about Coca-Cola, Kraft, Nabisco, is the hearts and minds of their people.
Yeah.
And so if you have a good team, I'm telling you right now, most people are given 60, 70%, if that, because they're hurting, they're broken, they got trauma, they got drama, they got a broken marriage, they got struggling financially, they were molested or abused as a child and have never dealt with it, still bother them 30 years later. So what I do is I clean up the head and the heart. So when they go back, now instead of getting 60 or 70%, you're getting 80 or 90% of employee. Imagine if each one of your salespeople doubled their sales. If each one of your office personnel did a better job, how that would affect the bottom line. And more importantly, we get people on fire for their lives. We get people on fire for the mission. So in Coca-Cola, and they've sent me about 800 executives. I went through a period of time about 15 years ago, Lisa Marie and Stephanie. I always go to Lisa Marie. Apologize.
It's okay.
For a 3-month period of time, I had a class for Coca-Cola every single week in over 3 months. And they were 20-person classes. 20-person classes.
That's big.
I had about 800 people. And what they did when they went back, they were more loyal to Coca-Cola. They bled Coca-Cola red. They were on fire. Coca-Cola sent them a class that saved their marriage, that made them a better father or mother, that got them off some drugs, that got them into counseling to finally deal with that trauma that they've been struggling with for 25 years. I opened the door. Now they heal it up. So, it doesn't matter if you're a corporation. I do this for churches. I do this for homeless people. This is about the individual. When it's called under construction, we're going to be a little bit better today than yesterday, a little bit better tomorrow than today. In the corporate world, you call that lean manufacturing, Six Sigma, Lean Sigma, K9, constant, never-ending improvement. That's who I am. That's what I do.
I love the way you're describing this. And one of the things that you said that is so important to me, it's one of my pillars of my life, of my three-legged stool, is loyalty. And that's something that we don't see in corporate America very much. No. Stephanie can speak to that. She recruited me to one of the largest international real estate companies a few years ago. And she can talk to you about how, loyalty it's kind of a value of the past. And if you can take your staff members or your key personnel and not only get them on fire so that they're producing more, and you produce loyalty, and then you can continue to nurture that relationship with your employees. I mean, that's really powerful. So Steph, do you have experiences where you have in your team, as it's grown over the years, those people that you feel like are very loyal?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can feel it. Not only do you see it, but you feel that when that individual's even right next to you, or even through a Zoom call, like, that is. But I can also feel those that aren't. And it's hard, it's hard to say things like that. And as time has grown on and I've gotten older, I just told somebody yesterday, I'm like, look, I don't feel it. And they're like, what do you mean you don't feel it? And I'm like, I don't feel it. Like, we're not a fit. And, I'm too far into my life and my career to make something work. Like, I don't think I have the energy, the time. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to be honest.
You're being real.
And you're being yourself, Stephanie. And that's what we love about you is.
Yeah, it's you got to be yourself, because I mean, if I tried to look, I know 100% that just because somebody gets to know me doesn't mean they're going to be successful. That's built in them. I don't care if they take everything I do on a given daily basis and everything I speak, a script, whatever the case might be. They may or may not work, right? Because so much of what happens in the success path for myself is because every time I say something, I know it, I trust it, and I believe it.
And
Yeah. And it's hard to put that into people. And when I do things, I tell everyone I'm 200% in. Like, you don't get me half the time. You don't get me, a half-ass Stephanie. You get 200% of me.
Yeah, I have never met a half-ass Stephanie. I will tell you that.
It doesn't exist.
But you know why, though? Here's the key, Lisa Marie and Stephanie. Everything, and this is where it goes back to knowing people. Everything we do or do not do is driven by a belief system. You got to get this. Everything we do or do not do is driven by a belief system. You can teach technique. You can explain a belief system. You can explain a pattern or a pathway. But what you have, Stephanie, what you have, Lisa Marie, what I have is BS. I said it, not bullshit. Belief system. And here's the thing. Alfred Adler said by the time a child is 5 years old, a majority of their map of reality is in place. Now, when I was 5 years old, I was being beaten on by a drunk man. I was white trash in a trailer park. And so I had to, when I got older, I had to reprogram myself. I had to go back and change those belief systems because the belief systems I put in place were to get me through the hell I call childhood.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. I'm not a 5-year-old boy anymore living in a trailer park. And how many people do you have out there selling for you that can't seem to get it? They're doing exactly what you two ladies told them to do, and they're not getting it. You know why? We haven't gone to the belief systems yet.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
They're still thinking that they're that 5-year-old in the trailer park every day when they go out. And so that's the difference. Stephanie and Scott, the three of us, we embody on the inside what we do on the outside. So that's where that flow comes from that Stephanie's talking about, whether you feel it or you don't feel it. And our clients pick up on that. Yeah. Our peers, our colleagues, our potential clients, they see that BS, whether it's bullshit or belief system.
I love it, though. Isn't that great? BS, people automatically think bullshit. And it's belief system.
They see that before we even utter a word.
Yep.
Yeah.
It shows itself. The way you carry yourself, the way you talk. Yeah, sorry.
I love this because it's like, okay, I've got a whole list of people, right, that need this, me, myself included, right at the top of that list. And, there's been development and things that I've gone through, throughout the course of just being an adult, right? But I don't think anything to the extent of what you're talking about. So I'm excited because I always tell everyone, you never make yourself the smartest person in the room because you stop learning and you stop growing. So I'm all about learning and growing because that's what keeps us
and
better.
I teach you 3 parts. You got to realize we're a 3-part being. We have a body. We're not the body. It's a 120-year lifespan, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. But it's our vehicle and there are rules. We have a mind. The mind runs the body and the battle's in the mind. I teach you about the conscious and unconscious, but you're not the brain or the mind. You are the spirit. Now, some of us believe in a personal God. Some of us believe in some power force above us. But either way, we all know there's something above us. And so I deal with all 3 components. That's what different. And for belief systems, there are 6 levels of beliefs. We have beliefs in our behavior, beliefs in our environment, beliefs in our capabilities, belief in our values and belief systems. We have beliefs in our identity. We have beliefs in our spirit, and we layer them. And a lot of people have never unpacked them. And the first night in my training, I'm going to unpack your belief system. I'm going to teach you how to stand. I'm going to teach you how to breathe. You're going to be 40 years old and go, I know how to breathe. I've been doing it 40 years, but not right. I know how to stand. I've been doing it for 40 years, but not right. It can be better.
I have my tower stance. And that's why, that's why sales trainings are not effective, in my opinion. You may get some little nuggets or some things that you can say or how to research, connecting with clients. It's because it only addresses one part of what you're talking about that triad. So Scott, tell us how our viewers can get in touch with you. What's the best way for them to reach out and find more about your programs?
Well, and again, I appreciate you ladies so much for having me on. As I told you before, I'm not a big self-promoter. Lisa Marie, everybody's ever been through my training in 32 years has been referred by somebody else. I have no sales team.
Except for me.
Yeah. Yeah, except for, I mean, every once in a while now with my radio show, now I'm getting people, because I'm actually coming back on the radio. I was in Minneapolis and St. Louis on the radio for 8 years with Like It Matters Radio. So I'm starting back up August 3rd in Dallas, Fort Worth on 100 FM 100.7. Be every Saturday from 6 to 7 will be Like It Matters Radio. And then my what do you call it? Radio
website?
Show podcast. Yeah, that will be on the wayofwarriorpod.com, wayofwarriorpod.com.
Okay.
The training is wayofwarrior.training, wayofwarrior.training. I do a class every 3 to 4 weeks. They're intense. I allow 12 to 16 people in it. My next class is August 22nd here in Dallas. I got about 6 spots still open. And then I'll be September 26th. I'll be in Las Vegas doing a class as well. We have 3 core classes, Lisa Marie and Stephanie. We have Leadership Awakening, which is the entry-level class, the eye-opener, with one you're talking about. The second half of that is called Leadership Adventure, where we pick up where you left off, and now how do you take a team of leaders through the ups and downs of business and life. And then I have a class, my favorite, that I teach. It's more like your typical training, called Emotional Intelligence, where I teach the basics of NLP, how to match a model, how to move beyond conflict, how to read people, how to sell, how to understand when you're getting a sincere question, an honest question, and a fake question, how to read body language, how to build rapport with people. And that doesn't have the intensity. You go home at night, so we expect you to come back the next day. So but, you can go to wayofwarrior.training, go to likeitmatters.net. I am so reachable in so many different ways, but you got to find me.
Awesome.
It was really great to see you, Scott. And thank you for your passion. And also thank you I'm so glad that I found you. I mean, I know I'm an anomaly. Most people are, but we already knew that. So, find a sponsor to get to your training. But I'm so glad I made my way there back in 2005, and the ripple effect that it's had on so many people in my business and my life. And Leadership Awakening is an experience to be remembered. And then I had the pleasure of going back and being a staff person.
That's so cool.
Volunteering my time and watching people go through the experience, which is also very powerful learning. So thank you so much for being here. Wayofwarrior.training. Check out Like It Matters podcast, and you're going to be on the radio in Dallas. So so you're out there doing it. Thanks so much, Scott.
Thank you, ladies, so much. And I look forward to talking to you off air.
Yes,
absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.